Welcome, friends, to the Soul Talk podcast, a show where we explore and uncover the path to the heart, amplifying your conscience. Join me as we meet incredible souls who are in this journey and learn from their experience and different methods that will make you vibrate your heart. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and thank you for being here in Soul Talk. Today, we have a friend that it is very dearly love for me. I can call her my soul sister. And let me tell you a little bit about who she is because it is very, very interesting. Tywanah Evette is a shaman, high priestess, psychic medium, spiritual guide woman, advocate, empower speaker, and two times international bestseller author. She is founder of the Veil and the Flame that she will be explaining us a little bit more about what it is that. And drawing from her Native American heritage, that we can ask more information about that too. Intuitive gifts, shaman, and training for decades and leadership. She helps people, women basically, to overpass to all those things. But she's going to tell us more with her words about who she is. Tijuana, thank you so much for accepting my invitation for Soul Talk.
Thank you, my soul sister. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Couldn't think of a better way to spend my day.
Beautiful one. Tell us about what it is the veil and the flame.
The veil and the flame, it is my baby. Because I spend part of my time on the other side of the veil communing with my ancestors. I'm very heavy into ancestral healing and things like that. And then I spend the other 50% of my life lighting a fire under people's heinies to get them, to be serious about their healing journey. Um, so there has to be balance, right? You've got you can't have one without the other. So that's where the veil and the flame was birthed. My Native American name is Thunderbird Rising, and I was given that name by my great great grandfather, who was chief of Shinnecock Nation. Shinnecock is now referred to as the Hamptons. They stole that land from my ancestry.
Yeah, it happened to many of the tribes, unfortunately, and it's pretty sad what is happening. But from there, you acquire some of the your roots of shamanic and so forth, and
100%, 100%. My great grandfather integrated last year.
that's beautiful. And that's you use that actually to help people in your
Yes, I
pro
do.
coaching and in your healings at the same time. Correct?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do energy healings. I can see chakras. I can see the other side of the veil. And I love using nature to heal people. That's what shamans do. We use nature to heal others. Natural herbs, sand, the ocean, bodies of water, things like that to aid people in clearing all the yuck off of them, and bringing them back to center, breaking ancestral and generational patterns. And they call them curses. I say patterns. Um, Things like that. The ancestral vows. A lot of our ancestors took vows that need to be rewritten and broken.
Yes, and like just that part of your history with your family, with your grandfather that you were mentioning, I bet there were many vows and many contracts in there.
Yes.
When the land was taken off and the anger and all those kind of things that happened, I
Yes.
bet there were many curses and things like that involved.
A lot. A lot. Um, Not only with my great great grandfather, the Shinnecock chief, but my Irish grandmother. She's four generations back. We refer to her lovingly as GGJ. She's spicy. She's like this tall with stringy red hair, and she's the spicy one who doesn't like when people disrespect. Um, but she survived the Irish famine and came to the US by boat. So a lot of her vows in particular had to be broken. Um, And that was not easy. She didn't let go of those easily.
Yes.
She never wants me to forget. She never wants me to forget my fellow human.
It is important that we don't forget our story. I am a true believer that if we don't know the story, we tend to repeat it.
Yes.
So that's why it's so important that it is in the books, that is being taught in schools, that is being taught everywhere. So like that, we don't repeat the same mistakes that we all have done or our ancestors have done.
Yeah.
So it is
It's
important.
very important to learn your ancestry. And a lot of people, they don't understand that there are those of us who can communicate to share with you, okay, why do you keep meeting the same person in different bodies? Why, when you get money, is it like water in your hands? Those are all vows that have to be broken. And our ancestors did not do them out of carelessness or spite. They did it because they had to survive. We can use our gifts today. They could not. They had to hide them and practice in secret.
Yeah, because the Inquisition not only went into Europe, it came to Americas.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was imposed to hide who you are and your roots. But tell us a little bit more about. I can right now I'm picturing the little Tijuana, and but how was that the little Tijuana brought up? Because you have from one side your grandmother that was Irish, from the other side you have the native grandfather too. So
Yes.
how was the combination, and how you were learning to become who you are now?
I am Native American, Irish, and what's called Bajan, meaning from Barbados. So I'm West Indian, Native American, and Irish. And little Tawana was this eccentric, bright, happy little soul who was always singing and dancing. I loved being on the swings. And when my stepfather was in my life, I was a daddy's girl. He would put me on his shoulders. He told me I could be anything I want. He even told me I could be Wonder Woman, and I believed. I used to sand, put something around my wrist and spin around in the living room. And when he and my mother broke up, life changed forever. I met my real father. My real father was a monster, and he took every dream and hope that little Tawana had and killed it. Um, I wound up carrying his child. I did not keep the baby, but I did carry his child. And then I went into the New York City group home system, and every dream I had, every bit of belief that I had in myself died. Um, and I spent the last 30 years finding out who I am now. Remembering, not finding out, remembering who I was. Raised my children with the mentality of a 15-year-old. They left my life for a time, rightfully so. And what started my spiritual awakening and what brought Tawana back to Tawana was my attempt to take my life. It was serious. I did not want to be here. It was not a cry for help. I took the medicine and I went and laid in the woods. And what happened next forever changed me. When I woke up, mom and my daddy were waiting for me at the doorway. And I remember getting up and I'm like, Daddy, you're here. And he's like, Yes, boom, boom, I've been with you. But he had his head down and he kept shaking his head. No, because Daddy never told me no.
Your stepfather.
And my stepfather, yes. I refer to him as daddy and my father as father. Um, so I was so excited to see him and I'm like, finally I'm with you and mom. And he had his head down and he's like, No, boom, boom, it's not your time. And I ran over to my mother, and my mother is this elegant Leo, confident, elegant. She could outdress even Jackie Onassis Kennedy, my mother. And she wouldn't look at me. She just said, women are waiting for you. You have a purpose and it begins now. And she pushes me back into my 3D body. When I moved into my first apartment alone a year later, her voice got so loud. I didn't know whether I was losing it or if it was really happening. I sat there and questioned myself for a long time. Like, okay, do you need to check yourself in? Because you're hearing your mother, like audibly hearing her. No, I was sitting in the chair meditating one day. And when I opened my eyes, she was standing in front of me. And I remember jumping up and trying to hug her. You can't hug a ghost. Um, and she has fiercely led me, guided me, and protected me since then. She stands at my right side always. And she made me remember. She made me remember her cultivating my gifts from the time I was 2. She knew I was psychic at 2 when my pop came to me. Um, she made me remember everything that she taught me. And then they started introducing the other ancestors to me. And I had to first learn their energy, then learn their voice, and then she would allow me to see them. But I always had to learn their energy first.
Yes,
So,
I vibrate.
yeah, yeah.
I have something similar happen to me, but it was more with the galactics. And they took me on top of a spaceship, and it was like, okay, why I'm here is like because we need you to understand, to feel their energy, the vibration,
Yes,
each one person, and that's how you know we're around you.
yes, yes. And that was the same method my mom used. She said, because you're not going to always be in a space where you can visually see. So you need to know that energy. You need to be able to recognize the energy. And I have galactics and dragons and things like that around me as well. But I had to learn the energy.
Yes.
And it's been the longest, shortest 5 years of my life. Because when you're in it, it's like, oh God, this night is never going to end. I spent many a night in the bathtub going, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And they assured me, yes, you can. One more milk,
Is
one
that
more
some?
breath.
Now, thank God, there's many classes about channeling and about communicating to mediumship or things like that. But I bet in your time, as it was in my time, there was not many classes about that. So we, at the beginning, I really thought that I was getting crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. In fact, thank goodness for social media because that's what helped me understand that no, I wasn't losing it. I was awakening. I was remembering. Because when I met my natural father, Mama told me, don't use these gifts because he was a church deacon. She was like, don't, you have to shut it down. You have to shut it down. Even telekinesis, which, moving an object without having to touch it. She used to call it devil eyes. She says you would stare at something and you'd get this look, and all of a sudden it would fly across the room. And she said the reason that she called it devil eyes is so that I would stop because she was afraid that people would show up and take me to go through, like on the show Stranger Things, because that's based on truth.
Yes, and we don't know about the governments and so forth. There are so many things that it can go wrong, unfortunately. More in that time.
Hmm.
Thank God in this time that we see a gifted person, our reaction is very, very different. It's like, how do you do that? Can you show me?
Yes.
It is very different
Yes.
than in the 80s. Let's put it like that.
Big time different from the 80s.
Yes.
I always say the Encyclopedia Britannica and the Webster's Dictionary did not teach us any of this.
Yes. No, because in a way it was those were the books that they were prohibited, and the religion was more against all that because that is something diabolic or something bad. And
Yes.
developing our gifts, it was something prohibited.
Yes. It
And
was.
if we go with the Catholic Church, they basically the only person who can communicate with permission, it was to God. It was
Priest.
the priest. That's
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
No one else.
I grew up Episcopalian, so yeah, that's
Grew
the
up, I
sister
grew up,
of Catholicism. So
yeah.
yes, the only person who could communicate was the priest.
Yes, I grew up a Catholic, and it was the same thing. And I went even to schools with nuns. So it was that. So everything was all the woo woo. You have to hide it.
Hmm. It was
So
crazy. It was crazy, but it
yeah,
made it it definitely made me forget my power. It made me forget who I was. I felt small, but there was always like this version of me on the inside just screaming to get out. Like, why are you trying to be so normal? Why do you want to just be somebody's wife and, have plates ready when they get home and all of this?
but that's part of the following the program. Because
Exactly.
remember, more in the women, it was more control. It was
Yeah.
about you're born to basically to please a man, have kids, cook,
Yes.
be the maid, be the slut, be the
Yes.
everything, and then be a grandmother, take care of the grandkids, and died.
That
That's
part. Yes. Yes.
many women do not even went to college or school because why they're women.
Right.
It's like they don't need to learn nothing. They just need to know how to cook.
Exactly. Exactly. So I tried to be that person
Yeah.
until my last relationship. And he belittled, berated me all day, every day. He would keep me awake for 3 days, knowing that I would have a seizure. And as soon as I started to stutter, that's the indication that I've got about 20 minutes before I start flopping around. He would say, "Go take your medicine," so that nobody would find out who he really is. He's a fourth grade teacher. But I didn't realize that was abuse, because I was always taught, well, if somebody hits you, that's abuse,
Mhm.
not psychological abuse. Um, but I'm grateful for that experience. I'm glad it happened because it made me who I am today.
Yes, definitely. I am grateful, in fact, for my ex that he had the same thing because in a way they were teachers. Everything that we
Yes.
have lived, all the experience that we have lived, good ones and bad ones, they were just teachers,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
becoming who we are. Even if it was the more horrible ones, like your father experience, they were unfortunately. It is. I know it's very hard as a coach, as a shaman, as a healer, to say to someone that was a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. People, when they haven't started their healing journey yet, they look at me like I'm crazy. What do you mean that was a lesson? Well, I signed for this. I signed up for these experiences so that any woman that I can encounter who's been through anything remotely similar can feel like somebody gets it. So I don't regret any of my experiences. They all made me who I am today. I'm proud of it. I survived that. I survived that. And I am here to show other women how to love themselves because there is no one on this earth that I love more than me now. I used to say before, you know, I stay because of my grandkids. I stay because of my kids. It was always someone external. I'm here now because I love me.
And that was not even fair from hearing that. I remember my mother saying all the time, it's like, I stay because you were born.
Yeah.
And when I grew up and got married and left, and she was still there, and I was like, now why you're staying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even there.
That part.
So it was just an excuse to use you and manipulate you and control using those words.
100%.
to
100%.
to the father and the kid,
Yes.
and that was not fair.
No,
And it happened to everybody. It happened to everybody. So for our viewers that right now seeing, don't use that one, please.
no.
When your kids or with your husband, if you want to leave, leave, and you want to stay, stay. But don't use anyone as excuse. Own it.
Exactly. Exactly. I've had that conversation with my kids and they've asked me, why did you stay with this? Why did you tolerate that? And I've had to answer for it, you know? Since they've come back into my life. I've had to answer for it and I give them honest answers because I did not believe I was worthy enough to even have you. I didn't believe I was worthy enough to have such perfect little beings.
Yep.
So I always brought someone else in because I didn't feel worthy. Whereas if I had taken the time to heal 20 something years ago, my children wouldn't have been dragged through my trauma.
Yes.
So there is no excuse. I own it. And I say all the time, did I fail my children? Absolutely, I did. The past version of me did fail my children, but I don't do it now.
Yes. Because now you know your worth.
Exactly. And they love it. They love it. They love new mom. They love that mom, puts herself first. They love that mom is helping other women. In fact, I found out they used to watch my TikTok lives. Even when they weren't speaking to me, they would watch from outside, where you don't hit the screen to come into the live. They would watch. And they saw all the women that were like, we love you. We're glad you're here. I went through this and I didn't remember. And then came all the messages. You saved my life. You saved my life. There was a woman who had stage 4 brain cancer. And she sent me a message maybe 3 or 4 months ago and said, I just want you to know you saved me and my children's lives. She said, because I used to just listen to your live all night. And I remember when you said, I don't have to accept it. She said, and I got up that day and I started fighting. The tumor is gone. I'm getting my second bachelor's degree. The kids are happy. And that's because of you. And when you receive messages like that,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, if I left this earth today, I know I helped the person. You know, it makes you feel really well.
Yes. That's what it keep you going. What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes you have a purpose,
Yes.
have a mission,
Yes.
and you being, of course, after you try to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that have tried to commit suicide, I have to.
Mm-hmm.
So what we were missing in that moment, it was having a purpose.
Yes. Yes. I
And
in fact I said when I was walking to the woods to lay down, because I walked into the woods so nobody can find me, and I turned my location off. And I kept saying, I don't have a purpose. There's no reason for me to be here. No one
exactly,
sees me, no one understands me, and no one loves me,
and no one cares.
and no one cares.
I remember those words because it crosses every single person that is thinking of those things, and it's so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It is so wrong, but that's how they feel because that's where we felt
Yeah.
in those moments.
Yeah.
But once that we find our purpose, there is nothing to bring us down. Not anymore.
No, no, we get hit. We take a lot of hits.
Yes,
We take a lot of hits, but each one just makes us stronger. Each one gets easier. Each wave becomes easier and easier to get through.
yes. I know you have a program coming soon. Tell us a little bit about the program that you're going to be teaching.
So, my good friend Ann and I created Rise in Faith. And it's called the Ascension Bridge Journey. And it's about reclaiming your identity, but having faith while you're doing it. Because we need a lot of faith to work to walk this journey. Trust me, we do. We have to believe up until the last moment. But that's facing everything in you and rising up to who you're meant to be. It's an 8-week series with myself and Ann Jonas, the owner of the Lotus Path. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Like her and I, when we get together, we're goofy like little kids. It's going to be so much fun. But rise means you're reclaiming your identity, your self love, your empowerment. Um, so it's about reclaiming and remembering more than reclaiming, remembering who you are, remembering your gifts, remembering that yes, this bridge takes some faith to cross over. Like it's one of those rope bridges with rickety stairs, where you have to grasp on with both hands. Our journey to wholeness and our purpose, right? It's not an easy bridge to cross, but it's an 8-week journey where we're embodying in our truth. We are just teaching you how to get through those patches to get over the bridge so that you know your purpose, you know who you are. So that's one of the things that we're doing. That starts June 26th, running through August 14th, the week after the solstice. Not solstice, the week after the Lion's Gate is
Yes.
when it ends.
So the information for that program is going to be down below this episode. So just look for it. So like that you can get more information and also Tijuana's. So like that you can contact her. And that takes me to the next question I want to ask you. I know you work with people as a shaman, as a healer, etc. How do you work with them as a coach? How do you work with them?
So I have a 3-month, a 6-month, and a 12-month program for the guided spiritual guidance containers. Um, in order to enter the 6-month or the 12-month program, I have to refer you. So you have to go through the 3 months first. But I use the chakras as the system. So I can look into someone's chakras and tell what kind of damage was done from the Earth Star chakra all the way up. Um, and then we work on it. We unpack it together. We go through it together. Included in that, they receive readings. If I feel like they need it, they receive energy clearings. We break ancestral vows that were taken prior to your birth. I'm very big about taking them to their soul contract, crossing out the vows that the ancestors took and giving them a new page to rewrite what they would like to see come to fruition in their life, operating in their gifts. We're not talking about I want to win the lottery. Um, we're not speaking frivolous things. But I just I open my heart and the universe up to them and I show them who they are. And the lights usually come back in their eyes after 4 weeks. And by 3 months, man, I've got clients now that are out here. I'm so proud. I'm just so proud to see who they are. There was one young lady in particular, we'll just call her N. And N, I met with her and I said, okay, it's time for you to start reading. She graduated a year ago, but she's in another program of mine. And I said, it's time for you to start reading. Well, we're across the screen and, I bought her deck and sent it to her and everything. And one of the ones that I have. And I'm like, okay, what do you think this means? Oh, da da da. I'm like, oh my God, you're a natural. Like you don't need lessons. You've got it. I just helped her to remember. That was it.
Yeah.
And then I also offer energy clearings. And what that means is I prepare my body. So I fast for between 3 and 7 days. Teas, juices, cold pressed juice, things like that, so that I can extract the yuck and go and retrieve the parts of the soul that fragments during trauma that you do need and place them back in your body.
Like a soul retrieval.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a shamanic ceremony.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I have my drum and the maracas, not maracas, but they sound like maracas. The I can see it. I can't think of the proper name right now. And I, drum and get into this trance-like state. Dancing has been added to that in the last 2 weeks. With the water spirits, and yeah, I aid people in getting the ick off and getting those pieces of the soul that they do need back, the pieces that fragmented when they were harmed and hurt and things like that. Because there's some traumas that the 3D body cannot handle, and if your soul did not fragment, you would not be here. So I use my little shamanic tools, and we go and do it. And then for people who live nearby, I love using the beach, because the beach that's 12 minutes from my house is 99% clear quartz sand. So Mama Gaia is literally pulling while I'm doing what I need to do with the body. So it makes the person feel lighter and better. And, they can literally feel it. So in-person services are also available.
Hello, everyone. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. And it's been my mission to be at service of all. And I have learned many lessons in my life that it took me to one of the biggest ones, that it was one of the things that I am a channeler, master channeler, many of you already know. But when I start connecting to the Akashic records, it was a really big change, because in this one really helped me and guide me to know what my clients are actually needing. It helped me in my personal life and obviously my clients. Let me explain you a little bit why. We all have patterns, different patterns that we continue repeating and repeating, and we've been repeating it from this life, from past lives, and even galactic lives. But we do not even know why we like what we like. Why is our identity this way or this form? Yes, we can say it is programmed by our caregivers, parents, etc., whoever to take care of us when we were little. But many of those patterns, they're way older. They come from even a past life. They can be a fear-based past life, or it can be from different life experience that we had. And when we get to the realms of the galactic, we've been the star seeds that many of us that is interested in this kind of classes, we've been also programmed, or we have experienced in past lives, in as a Pleiades, as an Arcturian, Syrian, name it. There are many races that I like to talk about it in the Galactic Earth, Galactic Akashic Certification Program that I'm going to have. That it is a program of 16 weeks. So I'm going to give you a little bit of galactic history. I'm going to explain you about the galactic races. So like that, it will help you, but it will help also your clients to find out from where they come from, what star system they come from, what are the patterns they've been repeating from then to then now, and in these past lives too. And in the Akashic records, there are different chambers that you can go in and do different kinds of healings in there. That I'm going to be teaching all that, not only to be a reader, but also become a healer in the Akashic records, because you can cut contracts and vows, agreements that we all have, things that we have, patterns that we are being repeating, phobias, etc. We understand why. why we have those kind of phobias. Just to give you an example, I noticed that every time that I was crossing a railroad tracks in my car, I got panic and it's like, okay, but where this is coming from? Before, where I used to live, I never crossed them. Usually it was once every 3 to 6 months, so it was fine. But now that I moved to a bigger city, or to a different city, Santa Fe, every time I cross the railroad tracks, that is very often, I notice that because it happens over and over and over again. And it's like, okay, let's search. And when I search this in the Akashic records, yes, I have different past lives that I've been actually, the train destroyed my car and killed me. But it was several times, several lives. So it was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me clear that fear against that, because in this timeline, I am safe. There's many guards that if the train is coming, I'm not gonna cross it in that moment, etc. That obviously in that past lives, they didn't have lights. So I was not gonna know when the train was coming so easy like now. So this is just an example of phobias that we have that get us in panic or anxiety and so forth, that we can figure it out. So like that, we can remove those fears, remove that charge, energetic charge that we have, so we can overcome that and moving forward in our lives. So, and also sometimes our traumas comes from our family line. That even epigenetics talks about this, that they tell you that we've been carrying the fears of our ancestors. Our great-great-grandmother, she have certain behaviors, certain trauma, certain things that pass it on to our mother and our mother to us, and we're gonna, if we don't stop it, we're gonna continue passing it on to our future generations. So we will understand easier when we're in the Akashic records, because you're being guided to do all this kind of healings. And also, another of the aspects that are going to be working in the Akashic, it is about your business, about the money wounds that many of us have. So you're going to heal yourself and going to help also your clients. You know that your business also has an Akashic records. So we can connect to the Akashic records or your business and ask them, what your business needs? What your business is actually needing from you to achieve? So like that, it can prosper and we become successful. The visibility. Many of us, we have the traumas of past lives or even in this life about visibility. And more when we're talking about energy and things like that I can tell you so far that what I have encountered with me and with many of my clients, it is in there. There is, when we were in past lives, you were a witch, like I was. Of course, the visibility was a big one. I did not want to burn again, or in a past life ended in a mental hospital, because I am a channeler, and I've been a channeler for many lives. So I have to remove those fears and feeling safe in this timeline to say openly, I am a channeler. Don't burn me in the stake, or don't put me in a mental hospital, And those things you can find it for healing yourself and healing your clients, because you can add this as part of one of your modalities, so you can give a better service to your clients. So this program with certification in the Earth Galactic Akashic Records certification starts like the 10th at 7:30 p.m. It is going to be online. You're going to have, of course, recordings. We're going to meet once a week. We're going to be doing Akashic for each of you. You're going to leave with an experience already, because you're going to be doing several Akashic, so you feel already safe and you believe in yourself enough so you can actually implement that in your own business and for your own self. And of course, you're going to have manuals and things like that. So like that, you can have material to continue studying, and meditations and activations that I'm going to be doing for you. So we start on the 10th at 7:30 p.m. and it's going to be online. Thank you so much for hearing me. And this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love.
not just Pfizer.
That is that is beautiful. I have done many soul retrievals, and everybody has their own little way or big way
Mm-hmm.
to do it. And but people do not understand how important is a soul retrieval because you don't feel whole. You feel like something is missing from your life. You feel like it doesn't matter how many contracts or vows you have cut or you have removed, you're still missing a part of of that.
Yes.
And that's when you need a soul retrieval.
Yes. Yes. Soul retrieval is very important for your purpose. Um, because those parts of you that you're longing for, there's something. It's always a question like, why am I like this? Why won't this happen? And it's because that part of your soul is in the ethers.
And you might not remember in this moment what happened when you were 3 or 4 years old.
Yes.
But in a soul retrieval, you're like understand. I remember when I did a soul retrieval for myself, and I remember one of my teachers did it for me when what I was missing, what happened when I was 3 or 4 years old. And after that, my life have changed completely because I was missing that part of Monica, that it was that tiny Monica in my life.
Mm-hmm. It's important for us to go back and get little whomever, um, because our inner child took a lot of hits that we don't even recall when we get older. So it's important to nurture that.
I was talking with someone yesterday, and they asked me about my own personal healing, and I says I have done so many healings and so many inner work, shadow work, and so forth, and uh, and but I know still more coming. And she told me, okay, you don't need to do anything because a lot of the spiritual community they have that idea that you just have to stop. You don't need more healing. You just have to accept it. And it's like, no. It's like, I'm so sorry. It's like I don't see it in that way. I don't see that everything is peace and love and that's it. We're in Kumbala.
No, I wish.
Yes.
I
It
wish
is
it were that simple. But we're on an ascension spiral. So if
yes.
you think about a spiral, there's still the same point on every level. We just handle it differently. So if somebody stops speaking to me now, I don't care. Whereas 5 years ago, it would have rocked my world. If somebody said they hated me now, I would laugh. Whereas 5 years ago, I'd be like, but I do this and I do that. Oh my God, what do you mean? It's not that we don't meet trouble. It's that we handle it differently. And we do not stop learning the lessons until we go. That's it. We do not stop healing until we leave this earth. And even then, when we go to other places, there's still lessons.
There's layers. The healing parts is by layers.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, when you heal one part, you're like, oh, I did all this healing. Yes. Then you go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And the next level, you're gonna find more things that you need to heal or release or heal in that on the other level. And every level, it is gonna be like that.
Exactly. There's a new lesson in every level.
So in the spiritual community, they have that part wrong. Like love and light, don't think in bad things and nothing bad is gonna happen. That I don't agree with that. The love and light thing is it is ridiculous. You
False
have to look to
spirituality.
yes, you have to look at your shadows. You have to
You have to
integrate
dance
and
with
love
them.
because it is why they do that. For me, it feels
I've never understood it. I had a coach who was all, I only work with light. Well, then that means you don't dance with your shadows. Until we integrate our shadows, it's false.
you're
It's
always
false.
gonna be afraid.
Yeah, there's
You're
always
always gonna be
something to
afraid.
fear. But
Exactly.
once you integrate, It's like, oh, I don't hate my anger anymore. My anger saved me on the streets of New York City. Why would I hate it? Yes, did my anger hurt people? Yes, but now I know what box to put it in.
Yes. Oh, I know how to control it.
Yes,
Even for us that we tried to commit suicide many years ago,
yes,
we're talking about it. Why? Because we already overcome that. And
exactly.
people don't want to talk about it because they're still afraid to go back there.
Yes, yes,
And for
yes,
us, it is easier to talk about it because we already integrate those fears and why we did it and observe every single point of that. And we became the observers of our thoughts and emotions.
yes,
And that's the part
100%.
that the majority of people don't want to do because it is work. It is
It was
work.
deep. It was deep work. Like I said, I spent many nights sitting in a bathtub like this, going, I can't do this. I can't do this. And my mother and my daddy and the rest of my ancestral team, one more step, one more step. And I took it one. There were nights that I had to take it 1 second at a time. Um, but now when a lesson comes, I'm like, oh, this is a lesson. Okay, guys, I got it. Where are we going with this?
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that some of them don't hurt. It doesn't mean that some of them, you and I have had conversations about a lesson I just learned a couple of months ago. It doesn't mean that I didn't feel a certain way about it. It just means that I recognize it as a lesson and I say, what is this teaching me? What am I learning here? Versus, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Oh my God. That's victimhood mentality. But
Yes.
if you ask, what is it teaching me? Then your ancestors, your angels, your guides, your otherworldly beings can say, oh, she's ready for the next level. Yeah, because she's not moaning and complaining and trying to get everybody on her side.
We are not
Um,
going to deny that it was painful, whatever situation it was, but at least you can observe it that it was a lesson.
yes.
Like I could tell people when I get many people that just divorce and things like that, and they come with me and it says, okay, what do you learn from that relationship?
Hmm.
'Cause if you don't observe what do you learn from that, the next one, guess what? You're
Do
gonna
it again.
is gonna be the same type of
And
relationship with a
worse.
different person,
And
with a
worse.
different face and different name, but it's gonna be the same or
Hmm.
worse. So it's better to observe what do you learn from this one, because at the end, your ex, he was your teacher. Even if I had one of those too. One of my ex-husbands beat the crap out of me and too, but it was important to know what do I learn from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I said if I saw him today, I'd shake his hand and say thank you because he set me free. I was supposed to be that man's wife. I'm so glad I'm not married to him. I am so grateful for the experience because it woke me up to who I am.
Yep.
That experience, him belittling, berating, screaming at me, cheating on me, all of that woke me up to who I actually am. So if I saw that man today, he'd probably look at me like I had lost it, but I would say, "Oh, thank you. Thank you for the torture." Because now I know who I am, and no one will ever be able to take that away from me again.
I know my worth, that I
Yes,
deserve way more what I had then. And if I accept that relationship was because I don't thought that I was worthy.
that part, that part. And I didn't think I was worthy.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't believe I was worthy.
I
But
believe
now I
anybody,
know I am.
I believe anybody that is in a relationship that have that torture chambers that we had, all of those, it was because they don't feel that they can have something better.
Yeah, yeah. So,
And I just wanted to tell you for the viewers, it's like you deserve something better. And it's like,
there's always something better. And until we love who we are by ourselves, this is where I tell people it's okay to be single
yeah,
and it's better to be celibate.
Yeah.
I know that's a whole nother podcast, but
Yeah.
it's okay to be single and celibate because you're not wasting your energy. You know, women carry a man's energy for 7 years in our womb. So
But
you're
the thing,
not wasting that.
the program is that a woman, I remember when I married that man that thank God is ex-husband, was because I had a program that a woman is nothing. It doesn't have a man next to her.
That part.
And
Yes.
that's why I grabbed the first man that it was. My dad was dying. I was single. It's like, how I'm gonna survive? So I grabbed
Yes.
the first thing that it was available, and that was obviously not for me. And because I did
Yes.
not feel worthy, I choose that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that program would took us many women to this moment, to even to their death. So we need to observe and make a revise of all the beliefs that we have
Yes.
because they may be so wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100%. 100%, Monica. Um, we have to choose us
Yes.
above all. Even and people may not agree when I say this, even our children and grandchildren. Until we choose us, we can't be anything for them. Until
Yes.
we put ourselves first. You know, even I always use the analogy of being on an airplane. What do they tell you? Put your oxygen mask on first and then your child's. Whereas moms, we're thinking, no, 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 the kid, you know, we have to do the babies first. No, because we can't breathe. The
Yes.
same, the same is true on our healing journey. We have to put us first. And in doing that, we heal future generations without them even knowing it. We heal the back ones and the ones ahead of us
Yes.
if we just focus on us. But we've not been taught to do that. We've not been taught that we were worthy enough to take the time out to find out who we are.
That
But
is
there
so
are
true.
women like you and women like me out here teaching women. No, this was the right way.
And this was because we already overcome that. If we have
Yes,
never lived that before, we cannot even help others because we will not understand it.
right.
But we understand it because we already have lived through that.
100%. What's funny is you said something the other night in our class, and it was funny because you're the only other person that I've ever heard say it. There's a version of you, there's a version of me that is his wife. There's a version of me that did pass away in the woods. You know, there are different versions of us that are there, but then there's the versions of us that did the work and know who we are. And that is where we are today.
That is so, so
But
true.
when you said it, I was like, she gets it. She gets it. Because I've said dozens of times in the last 5 years, you know, when my children did separate from me, like I said, we're mending our relationships now. Um, and they're actually beautiful now. You know, we dropped the, oh, you're my daughter. And it's, you're a grown woman. Let's get to know each other. Because you don't know healed mom, and I don't know you, the version of you today. Um, but when you said that, it was just it clicked. It was like she understands it. She understands it. There are different versions of us because I always used to say it's like I don't exist anymore, and there was a version of me that doesn't. So
We can still see the old versions of ourselves. We can still sense. I remember Monica when he was in pain, Monica when he was a victim mentality, Monica when she was wanted to manipulate someone for giving her love. I remember we can see those versions of us, but we're like, okay, but I'm not here.
disconnected.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the empowered Monica. I want to be
Yes.
the Monica that can help others. Monica
Yes.
that can stand in her own power.
Yes.
Not that Monica. So we
Yes.
can see it with people when they are being their own empowered versions of
Hmm.
themselves. But
Hmm.
that's why we can help them to empower
Very
them.
much, very much so. Yeah, there was Tawana who was the victim, perpetual victim. Oh God, this is happening to me again. Sometimes I want to go back to those versions myself. And you remember, back in the 50s and 60s where they would smack somebody to get them to stop being so hysterical. It's like I want to go back to that version myself and just smack myself and say, "Wake up!" Um, but we wouldn't be who we are today without those experiences. So I don't resent them, but I just want to go back and smack her and say, "Stop it! Just stop!"
And the beautiful thing is we overcome that.
Yes.
Many women still stuck, or men, because we cannot
Yes.
say that there's no men in there too,
Mm-mm.
but they're still stuck in those situations and those relationships, and they don't even know how they can get out.
Well, the first step is asking for help because there are so many of us that would help. People think, oh, well, I don't have the money to get help. There's a lot of us that if we really look at you and see a version of ourselves in you because we're mirrors of each other, we will help.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us that do help. We just have to have the contact first. Um, and we have to see that you really want to do it because there are people who
Like,
only hire spiritual coaches to say I'm working with a spiritual coach and they don't want change.
it is just another way to manipulate people.
Exactly.
That's all.
Exactly.
And we
So
already know all those tricks.
we do been there, done that. Not interested. Not
Yeah.
interested. But if somebody really wants help, oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you're hungry for that help, oh yeah. 100%.
The information of Tijuana is going to be down below this episode. So like that you can contact her. And don't forget that there is a program, this Rise and Faith, that is starting the 26th with
Yes.
Tijuana. And that information is going to be down below too. Oh my gosh, Tijuana, it's been really my pleasure to have you here in Soul Talk. And hopefully it's not the last one, not the last time.
Absolutely. It's always wonderful, always makes my heart happy to connect with you. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And for you, our viewer, if this episode helped you, please share it with your friends. Don't forget that you have questions, comment in there. So like that, it can help us not only to the podcast to grow, but it will help us also to know what you need or want or what questions you have. Thank you so much for watching us. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. Thank you for being in Soul Talk.